Fitbit Versa 2.
Welcome to another episode of Don't Buy It. If you think we are here to convince you not to buy this product, you're wrong. We want to give you all the reasons not to buy it so you can see through the marketing and selling and actually figure out for yourself whether or not this product will fulfill your needs. If you realize that it does not, you'll be safe from wasting your money and time and of course the disappointment.
Today we're going to look at the Fitbit Versa 2 and we are going to tell you why you should not buy it. Let's start off by looking at the Fitbit Versa 2. On Amazon currently it has almost 19,000 ratings and the star rating is 4.4 out of 5. That's very good. That means this is one of the most popular fitness watches around. The Fitbit Versa 2 is not only a fitness watch, it is also a smartwatch. People love it. People are buying it in large numbers. So why should you not buy it? Let's begin. Point number 1. First off, one of the biggest problems with Fitbit Versa 2 is that it doesn't have inbuilt GPS. No inbuilt GPS. It lacks GPS. How does that impact you? It impacts you in a very big way because if you're into running or outdoor exercising, then you always have to carry your smartphone with you. You'll always have to carry your smartphone with you because the Fitbit does not have any inbuilt GPS, so you'll have to rely on the smartphone's GPS to track your steps, to track your route, everything. Second point, which is out here itself, is that it doesn't have any integration with Apple Health or Google Fit. Apple Health and Google Fit are one of the most popular apps for fitness, and Fitbit Versa does not have any integration with that. That's 2. Let's look at point number 3. The Fitbit Versa has a pretty good battery life, but it has an option known as always on. And it's a great option because that means the Fitbit Versa will be on all the time. You don't have to flick your wrists. That flicking is not required and it will be on all the time. But here's the downside. When you keep it on always on, the battery life drops to 2 days. 2 days is not good. So that means the battery life in the Fitbit Versa is not all that awesome. Next point. The Fitbit Versa, one of the highlights is integration with Alexa, but the actual integration of Alexa is nothing great. You can't do anything much with the Fitbit Versa and Alexa. At max, you can ask questions like, "Hey Alexa, show me the weather," and then you can tap into the response to see a forecast. If you ask Alexa something like, "Who's the first president?" it'll bring up a text answer as well. But you can't tap to see any more information. Similarly, if you ask something like what are the nearby restaurants, you'll get some 3 options, text options, but you can't tap or do anything with it. Alexa on Fitbit Versa is very frustrating. You're not going to be able to do much with it and people will not use it too much. Next point. Here's a YouTube reviewer of the Fitbit Versa. What he's saying is that you can't change anything on the Fitbit Versa unless you go to the app. Whether it is the watch face or the time or any of those things on Fitbit Versa 2, you can't change it. It just says go to the app. Look at this. It says go to the app. I'll just go back a little bit. Yeah. Go to the Fitbit mobile app to set up weather. Anything you need to do, you need to go to the app, and that's not great. And the next point, you need a subscription to get real information or real insights from the data. Here is a verified user, verified purchaser on Amazon. This is from Amazon reviews on the Fitbit Versa 2. Yeah. And he says, let me just read it out. I'm so disappointed by the Versa. you cannot stream Amazon Prime Music on the Versa 2. You can listen to your free Pandora account, but it will cost you $4.99 a month in order to have it on your Versa 2. And the second thing is saying that he wants to know everything about his sleep patterns by wearing the Fitbit Versa 2 while he's sleeping at night. But he's saying that unless you buy a premium upgrade for $12.99 a month, you will not get your detailed insights on the sleep. Well, this is not $12.99 a month, it's $10 a month and $80 a year. But still, you'll need to get this subscription, this premium subscription, to get insights on the data that Fitbit Versa throws up, which is not great. Next point. The band. The Fitbit Versa is good looking, it's got a nice band, it's got nice band options. But the band that the Fitbit Versa comes with is not comfortable. That's because it doesn't fit very well on your wrist, and when you try to tighten it, it becomes too tight, and if you leave it comfortable, then it's so loose that you're not, it keeps moving around on your wrist. So the band is a problem. The band is a problem because it doesn't fit very well. It's not a snug fit. So you end up kind of needing to adjust the watch strap on a regular basis. It's not a good thing for a lot of people. They want to just forget about the fact that they're wearing a Fitbit Versa 2. Next point, the cradle. Now the Fitbit Versa, it comes with a specific charging cable that is not going to work for any of the other Fitbit models. So you'll have to buy this particular cradle. Here it is. This is the cradle. You'll have to buy this cradle. This cradle is going to come with a Fitbit Versa 2, and this is the only one you can use. And what is the disadvantage? Suppose you lose your cradle or you can't find it, then you are stuck. You'll have to go back to Fitbit Versa and buy exactly the Versa 2 cable and get it replaced. It will take you some time. Whatever, you won't find it in a store. You won't be able to use any other way of charging your Fitbit Versa 2. So this cradle, this custom cradle is a pain. The cradle of the Fitbit Versa is not at all well designed. Now this person who is reviewing it on YouTube shows you the cradle. Now you have to fit the Fitbit Versa into the cradle, and not only that, you have to ensure that it fits in with the connector points correctly aligned. Let me show you the connector points a little closely. The cradle has connector points, and your Fitbit Versa 2 has to fit in perfectly with the connector points. So when you attach your Fitbit Versa to this cradle, if you do it upside down and you don't realize it, your Fitbit Versa will not charge at all. So you might keep it overnight connected, it will fit in perfectly, just that the connector points will be on opposite ends. So it will not charge. And also, suppose you did put it properly, there's no way for you to know whether the connector points are touching or not. So you might end up with no charge on the Fitbit even after leaving it charging overnight. Another problem with the cradle is its design. The wire that is there in the cradle comes from right behind it, which means that when you keep the cradle on a flat surface, it just doesn't stay flat. It turns to the side. So because of this design, you cannot charge your Fitbit Versa by keeping its face visible. It will always turn to the side. Look at this. You place it on a flat surface and it goes to the side. That's a big problem. Here's the next problem. Number 10. Essentially, you buy this Fitbit Versa to look at information on the watch. Now, since it is also a smartwatch, you get information like, some text messages and all. Why do you want to read it from such a small screen when you have your cell phone, your smartphone with you with a bigger screen, you can read clearly? It's actually a little bit of a bother to read it from such a tiny screen. So unless you are attuned to the fact that you're going to be reading from a very small screen, don't go in for the Fitbit Versa 2. There's no point. Okay, now coming to the next point, number 11. Because it is integrated with Alexa, you can think that you'll get some extra information from Fitbit Versa 2, but that is not true. Actually, you hardly get any information. All you get is some text messages, and these text messages are also limited, and you can't further click into them to get more information. For example, if you say If you say something like, what restaurants are nearby? It'll bring up text on-screen messages with only 3 options, and you aren't able to follow up or explore these options in any way. And there is nothing much that you can do in terms of information that you get from the Fitbit Versa 2. Point number 12 is that you get Spotify integrated into Fitbit Versa 2, but you cannot use Spotify unless you have a paid subscription. So you have to pay for Spotify. Your free Spotify is not going to work on Fitbit Versa 2. Point number 13. You cannot actually stream Spotify from your Fitbit Versa 2. You can only control songs. You can only control the Spotify on another device. Like on your smartphone, you have Spotify, and Versa 2 is going to let you control it. And your smartphone is actually going to stream it. Point number 14, which is connected to this, is that you can store music in your Fitbit Versa 2, but you can only do it through Wi-Fi. There is no direct cable that you can connect to the Versa 2 and transfer your music. That means, according to the speed of your Wi-Fi, you might take a long time to transfer all your songs into the Versa 2. And the next point, which is point number 15, is that if you're not using the always on option, which reduces the battery life to just 2 days, then you'll have to flick your wrist every time you want to see what is happening with your Fitbit Versa 2. Flicking your wrist again and again is quite painful. Trust me, people don't like it. So if you're totally attuned to the fact that you'll have to keep flicking your wrist, all right, otherwise think again about the Fitbit Versa 2. Point number 16 is the band. Changing the strap is actually quite difficult. Look at how she's doing it. She presses this quick release button, the strap comes off. But it looks very simple right now, but it's actually quite difficult. There's several parts to this. So if you have to change the strap, it's not going to be easy. So that's definitely one of the points that you can think about, that if you're thinking of regularly changing the strap in your Fitbit Versa 2, think again. You'll have to get used to it. You'll have to do it many times before you can do it easily, and it's going to be a little bit of a pain. So these are 16 points why I should not buy the Fitbit Versa 2. If you still feel that the Fitbit Versa 2 is what you want, you go right ahead and buy it, because now you know all the reasons why you should not buy it. And if you're still convinced that it makes sense for you to buy it, it's going to be worth your money, which is around $200, you should go and buy it. But if any of these points is actually a deal breaker for you, don't buy it. Now, if you want to buy it, I put the link in the description. Just click it and you'll go straight to the Amazon page. So signing off for this episode of Don't Buy It, Buy. Rather, don't buy.